In this video, I'm offering you 10 mega Shakespeare monologues for female performers. These speeches will be awesome for auditions and assessments. They'll perfectly contrast comedic speeches if you're doing two pieces. These characters are full of surging emotions, especially grief, and they're perfect pieces to flex your acting muscles. Don't forget you can use the chapters to save time finding the monologue you need, and at the end of the video, I'll tell you how you can view and download all of these speeches for free. Right? Off we go. Constance from King John, Act 3, Scene 1. Constance is the mother of Arthur, and she believes he is the rightful king of England. She's joined forces with King Philip of France in order to depose King John of the English throne. However, King Philip has instead arranged a marriage for his own son. This weakens Constance's claim and strengthens the bond between the two nations. The wedding has been announced, and Constance is absolutely furious at everyone for being royally screwed over. Her words are vicious. She's overflowing with almost operatic rage. This speech is full of blistering individual insults, and it ends with her crying to the gods to destroy both the English and the French. There are several speeches by Constance in Act 3, Scene 1 that are brilliant. I suggest starting at a wicked day and not a holy day, then cutting King Philip and Austria's interjections. This will bridge three excellent sections together, and you can stop at and hang a calf's skin on those recreant limbs. If you need a shorter speech, I suggest stopping after the first or second sections. Juliet from Romeo and Juliet, Act 3, Scene 2. Juliet has just found out that Romeo, her husband of 3 hours, has murdered her cousin Tybalt, and Romeo has been banished from the city. Juliet is with her nurse, but she directs many of her thoughts out into the world as she helplessly seeks an explanation from Romeo, who is elsewhere. Her thoughts are erratic and full of teenage fury and confusion. She's fixated on the word banished and cannot face the idea of never seeing Romeo again. She's in shock, she's grieving, she's devastated. Start at, shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? And stop at, in that word's death, no words can that woe sound. Ophelia from Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. Ophelia has just been with Hamlet, and he seems deeply disturbed. He's spoken harshly to her and then denied that he ever loved her, which completely destroys her. This short and poetical speech has Ophelia encapsulating how Hamlet was and how he's now transformed. She's vulnerable and perplexed, and the speech offers many options of emotions to explore. Start at, oh, what a noble mind is here o'er throne, and stop at, to have seen what I have seen, see what I see. Lady Anne from King Richard III, Act 1, Scene 2. Lady Anne is escorting the coffin of her father-in-law, Henry VI, through the London streets when Richard speaks to her. Richard murdered Henry VI, as well as murdering Anne's husband, Prince Edward. But devastating grief has made Anne fearless. She cries out to everyone in the street before vocally obliterating Richard. This speech surges with colossal ferocity, and every word is pumped with muscular malice. Start at, what, do you tremble? Are you all afraid? Cut out Richard's small interjection, and stop at, which his hell-governed arm hath butchered. Cleopatra from Antony and Cleopatra, Act 5, Scene 1. This speech is at the end of Cleopatra's epic story. Antony, whom she loved dearly, has killed himself, and Roman invaders have arrived to take her prisoner. Cleopatra is feeling desolate and suicidal. She's describing a dream about Antony, painting the most heroic and beautiful picture of him. This shorter speech allows you to really invest in each image and carefully visualise Antony's pure perfection. Start at, I dreamt there was an emperor, Antony. Cut Dolabella's 3 tiny interjections, and stop at, think you there was, or might be such a man as this I dreamt of? Lady Percy from King Henry IV, Part 2, Act 2, Scene 3. Lady Percy is the widow of Henry Percy, aka Hotspur. He was killed in the Battle of Shrewsbury, fighting against King Henry IV and his son, Prince Hal. Lady Percy is denouncing Northumberland, who's her father-in-law, for his inaction on the battlefield, which led to his son, Hotspur's death. She's guilt-tripping Northumberland, painting his son as wondrous and a miracle, and is drawing on all her pain to provoke him. Start at, oh yet, for heaven's sake, go not to these wars, and stop at, have talked of Monmouth's grave. Volumnia from Coriolanus, Act 5, Scene 3. Volumnia's son, Coriolanus, is a powerful Roman general who's been exiled from Rome. He's returned having joined forces with his enemy, the Volscians, and Coriolanus intends to destroy his homeland in a cruel act of revenge. Volumnia has a cherished, nurturing relationship with her son, and she is anguished and heartbroken at what he intends to do. She's pleading with him to stop and reconsider, and at the end of the speech she kneels to him in submission. This last resort is a hugely symbolic and unexpected gesture. Start at "Thou knowest, great son, the end of war's uncertain," and stop at "Down, an end, this is the last." Hermione, from The Winter's Tale, Act 3, Scene 2. Hermione is the Queen of Sicilia and wife of King Leontes, but Leontes is consumed with paranoia and jealousy. He's accused his wife of adultery and of conspiring to kill him. This speech takes place during her trial. Hermione has denied all wrongdoing and now interrupts Leontes' crazed accusations to explain that she has nothing more to lose. She states how Leontes doesn't love her, how she's not allowed to see her young son, and how her newborn daughter has been taken away from her. She's lost everything. She's indifferent to the idea of death, and she ends by asking God for fair judgment. Start at "Sir, spare your threats," and stop at "Apollo be my judge." Duchess of Gloucester, from King Richard II, Act 1, Scene 2. The Duchess of Gloucester's husband, Thomas of Woodstock, has been murdered. Here she's speaking to John of Gaunt, her brother-in-law and the brother of her dead husband. In the first half of the speech, she speaks metaphorically about her husband being like a vial of blood or a branch of a tree, and how that's now spilt and hacked down. She then orders Gaunt to revenge her husband's death by going after King Richard. She warns him that if he doesn't act, Gaunt leaves himself precariously defenceless from assassination himself. This is a commanding and authoritative speech which is underpinned by deep grief and rage. Start at "Finds brotherhood in thee no sharper spur," and stop at "The best way is to venge my Gloucester's death." Queen Margaret, from King Richard III, Act 4, Scene 4. Queen Margaret is an older former queen whose husband and son have been murdered by Richard, Duke of Gloucester. Here she is speaking to the Duchess of York, aka Cicely Neville, who is Richard's mother. Also in the scene is Queen Elizabeth, who is the Duchess's daughter-in-law and sister-in-law of Richard. Once you get your head round the complex Wars of the Roses family tree, you have a speech that I think is one of the most powerful in all of Shakespeare's plays. Queen Margaret revives her huge grief and focuses her fury on the Duchess for giving birth to such a monster. The challenges of this speech are the character's age, the specificity of each name she mentions, as well as the unimaginable pain that's coursing through her veins. It's such an epic speech that is so exciting to explore. Start at "If ancient sorrow be most reverend," cut the Duchess's 2 interjections, and stop at "That I may live and say, the dog is dead." So there we go, 10 of Shakespeare's formidable speeches for female performers. If you want copies of these speeches, click on the link in the description down below, then click on the speech you want and download it as a digital PDF file. I'd recommend using these versions that I've carefully made, or to use published playtext versions. I really like the Arden Performance editions, and I've made a video all about what these are. The link's coming up. And that's it. Thanks ever so much for watching to the end. If this video's helped you, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel too. And if you know someone this video will help, send it their way. Finally, have a look at these other videos that I've made that I think you'll like. Take care and all the best.